Hi everybody, welcome to today's tutorial. So today we're gonna discuss how we can make some conceptual renders, basically which you can use for your initial design presentations when you've completely not decided how your design is gonna look like, or if your design is not finalized yet. So this is my Behance profile. So this is kind of the look that we're going to kind of achieve, where you do not kind of get into the material aspect of the building, but you show its form and its kind of features and what kind of vibe the building is going to give, and what it and how you can highlight your design features. Yeah, something like this, where we introduce these kind of sketchy lines, a little bit of an X-ray effect to the building, add a little bit of motion with the people, the liveliness. Yeah, so let's get into it. Okay, so what I've done is I've downloaded a model from 3D Warehouse. It's a Falling Waters by Frank Lloyd Wright, and the model is by DDAS. I'll leave this link in the description, so if you guys want to download and follow along. Alright, so we're gonna start with the SketchUp model. So basically this is how the model looks like when you open it. So for doing this effect, basically you need 4 overlay images. So the first one is a hidden line effect with only the edges. So for that, what you need to do is you need to go to the hidden in styles in hidden line. So you see we kind of get an outline of the image, but it's not properly defined, so we need to on the profiles of the image, so basically the outline. So go to view, edge style, profiles, you can click it over here, or just go to or in styles, edit, you can on the profiles, so we get a more defined look. Now we just need to export this image. So one more thing before exporting, you can just you can set your scene as this, so that all the overlays that you get are proper and the scene doesn't get disturbed, so that when you overlay them in Photoshop later, you get perfect images. So let's export this image. So I'll just save it on my desktop. Let's just make a new folder. We'll call it Conceptual Render. So I'll just put a reference folder, and in the reference I'll call this as hidden line. Alright, so the next one we need is the profiles only. So we need to turn off the edges. You can off it over here, or you can go to view, edge style, and just uncheck edges, and we need only the profile. So right now the profiles are very thin, so we can give it a little bit of thickness. So we can just change from 1 to 2. Yeah, that looks a little better. So we'll just export this. Same place, we'll call it profiles. Alright, so after this we need, if you go back to the image, we need this X-ray kind of effect. So what we need to do is we just need to go back to the hidden line kind of thing, and then we'll on the profiles also, and then we'll in view, in face style, you have an option called X-ray. So if you check it, you get this kind of X-ray version of the building. Right now it's a bit confusing, so we need to kind of take it to Photoshop and adjust the opacity and its blend mode to get it perfectly looking fine. So let's export this also. So it's called X-ray. Alright. Okay, then let's just go back to the final image. The another thing you see is we've got proper shadows that kind of give a 3D effect to the building, even though it's not a render. So what we need to do is go back to your hidden line and export. So before exporting, you need on shadows. So to best use the shadows, better that you off all the lines and only keep the shadows. So just go to your edit settings and even off your edges. So you get basically a plain image that is only your shadows. So let's export this to, we call it shadows. Alright. Now the last thing that you notice on this is these lines effects that we have over here. These sketchy kind of lines. So the best way to achieve them is using the guide tool in Photoshop. Sorry, guide tool in Sketchup. So just go back to hidden line mode, off your shadow, so it's more quicker. Actually, you can just go back to your texture mode and add a bit of guides. So just take your tape tool, T for tape tool, and just double click on the edges that you want guides. So I want some guides here. So you see all the guides coming up. Some of them here. Yeah, you see them. Just add more guides so that you can use them as a base. One more here. One more over here. Maybe a few here. Alright. One more over here. That looks good enough. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to export only the guides. So again, go back to your hidden line, off everything except the guides, which is you need to off all the edges. You can off it over here, or just go to your edit settings over here and off the edges. See that only your guides are seen. So just export this image as well and call it as guides. Alright, so we're done kind of with the export. One more thing we can do is you can just export the texture image as well. So if you want, we can add it on. So let's go to default style, just off our guide, view and guides. So let's export this image as well. Got texture. We may or may not use this depending upon the image. Let's see. Alright, so now let's just go back, have a look. Let's go to the desktop, go to our folder, and let's start importing the images. So let's take our first image of this folder, take it into Photoshop. Alright, so you see that our images are a white image on a dark background. So basically we need to invert this. Just copy this, make a copy, Ctrl J, making a copy, and I'll just click Ctrl I, which inverts image. You can do the same thing, take your profiles, put it in, Ctrl I, and it inverts the image. Same thing with the shadows, Ctrl I, inverts image as well. And now let's put in our shadows, Ctrl I. Actually, no need for Ctrl I on the shadows, because we keep it, and we can just now play with the opacities. So let's kind of increase the opacity decrease the opacity of the profiles layer, and even the shadows layer a little bit. Yeah, like that. The X-ray one, the shadows one, we can set it to multiply. No, it's lighten, I guess. Yeah, lighten our screen. Yeah, lighten works better. A bit more opacity. It'll reduce the X-ray opacity a little bit more. Profiles image. Profiles can reduce a little bit more. So So we're starting to get the effect. Alright, now what we need to do is when we just if you go you can see that there's kind of a texture to the image, so we need to add a texture to the image. So just Google crunch texture and get a bunch of textures on Google Images. So let's just have a look. This one, no. That looks good actually. Could use this. Let's have a look at a few more. Actually, this one looks good. Textures and miniating. So let's just save this image. Let's use our desktop. Conceptual and over here. Crunch. So let's take that image into Photoshop. Scale it to the image size. Sorry. Yeah, looks good. And what we need to do is we need to set it to overlay mode in the blend mode settings over here. Just set it on top. Yeah. So we're kind of starting to get the effect that we need. So let's play with the opacity a little bit more. Increase the X-ray to about 40%. Play with the profile opacity as well. We increase it. No, I think it's better if it's low. That looks good. Maybe we can just start adding the lines. So let's take our guides into this, bring it on top. So what we need to do with the guides is that we need to use this as a base to draw our line with the pen tool, and then kind of erase the boundary so that it gives that sketchy lines kind of effect. So first what we need to do is like reduce the opacity of the guides layer a little bit. To even invert it, you can see it as these lines. Then after that, let's make a group and take a pen tool, P for pen tool, and start drawing white lines. Let's put a white stroke to it over these base points that you have. So one line here looks good. We can adjust the settings of the lines later. So let's draw one more line. Take the pen tool once more. Yeah, looking good. Let's do one more. I'll adjust the line, match it correctly to this one. One more over here. Looks good. This one. Let's adjust it properly. And one more over here. Basically, you just fill up all the guides that you've kind of drawn. And we'll just put a mask on this group and delete what's not needed. that looks good. A few more here. One more, one final one. Yeah, that looks good. So we have all our shapes in this group over here. We'll just rename it as sketch lines. Alright, so now we can just even reduce the thickness of these lines. Just select them, hit A on your keyboard and change it to 2. 1.5 looks really nice. Yeah, just make it thin enough, maybe not too thin, but like little thin enough so that they look like, you know, like sketch lines. After that, what we need to do is we can remove it off the kite layer and reduce the opacity of this line and put a layer mask on it. So this button over here puts a layer mask on it. So when you put a layer mask on any object or group, what you can do is you can use the brush tool to kind of delete it and or even bring it back. So if I take the brush tool and paint on the layer mask with black, it gets deleted, as you can see over here. But if I paint it again with white, it comes back. So that's the good thing about using a layer mask tool. It's like a non-destructive way of working. Rather than erasing your layers, it's always better to use a layer mask. So what I'll do is take the brush tool, take a soft brush, reduce the opacity so that we don't have like sharp edges in our layer mask, and sort of start removing with the black brush the outline. You can increase it so that we don't have yeah, that's good. Back a little bit. It looks good. We can use a little bit of texture, so just copy a grunge layer on top, reduce the opacity, that looks good. You can even add a little bit of levels to the whole thing. Levels, decrease it a little bit. These mid nodes. Yeah, that looks good. So at the end, it's always good to add people to get a scale of the image. So let's just add some people silhouettes. People silhouettes. All right. Which one should we take? It's up to you guys to add what kind of people. You can even add like the sun art kind of person with very conceptual looking people. For the sake of this tutorial, I'm just taking a real let's just PNG search. Alright, so let's just take this guy over here, copy the image, paste it over here. Let's remove all the unwanted parts to the image. Remove this part. Delete it. So actually left off a little bit over here. Delete that as well. Right. Now we'll just invert it so we get a white person. You can even try different colors of people if you want like to highlight the people. We'll kind of scale it to the building proportion over here. Add in somewhere over here in the balcony, the building, or maybe just over here on the ground. It's too big. It looks right about right. Just reduce the opacity a little bit. Alright, good. So that kind of gives a sort of scale to the image as well. A little bit bigger, Control T to adjust that. Alright guys, that's kind of how we make a conceptual look to the images. After that, you can even add a color lookup to kind of change the style and not follow the same style, and change the different looks that they have. This one looks good. You can try different types of color lookups that are already inbuilt in Photoshop. Yes, that even this one looks good. You can try different styles, different colors to kind of get the desired look that you want to go for. Oh, this is also nice. I think, yeah, I'll go with this one for now. Reduce the opacity a little bit. So yeah, that's kind of looking good. Even at the end, you can even add a vignette. So just vignette is like darkening the edges. So you can just take your brush tool, take a soft brush, reduce the opacity, and add a little bit of darkening to get a proper look to your images. So yeah guys, that's how we make a conceptual render in Photoshop. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe if you want to see more tutorials from my channel. We discuss a lot about design presentation and design softwares that you can use in fast ways to sort of show your ideas. So that's it for today's tutorial. Thanks for watching.